one you guys want to prep?
For
four-way,
yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the secret Golden Knights headquarters, and I have a special treat because, as you can see, it's already dark outside. The day is over, and I still have three very patient young gentlemen here who are hanging out.
Young gentlemen.
For a little longer. Thank you very much. Andrew Starr on the left, Matt Davidson in the middle, Jesse Stahler on the right side. I don't really have to introduce anybody any longer because we have seen those young men many times. Anyhow, they have something in common. And we want to talk about this quickly. About the situation in 8-way after 6 rounds, and what they have in common is, Matt, you can throw it out to us. What do you have in common?
I think what you're leading up to is the average in 2015 at the Clash of Champions in Dubai. It was a 32.4, if I remember correctly.
Yes, 32.4 in Dubai, the Clash of Champions in 2015. And I found this in the records, and you were all in this Golden Knights lineup together by then. Now you're not any longer. You met you on with XB8, Speed XB8, and Drew and Jesse are still in forward. Do you remember anything? What do you remember from Dubai? I mean, did you know it was a record-breaking competition draw? Did you think it would be possible, or did you plan on it? What do you remember?
Well, personally, I kind of feel like it was the culmination of the training that the team had done so far. We had made a few slot changes and a little bit of personnel, but for the most part, that team has just had a lot of tunnel time together. And I honestly, in my opinion, think that it was the evolution of just spending, north of 100 hours in the tunnel as that team collectively, to where things started to evolve and how tight builds were and the speed, and that's really where the guarantees started happening between Sean and Kurt. So I'm not saying that they weren't checking things as much, but it was definitely improved. And I think that's just the first chance that we really got, especially internationally, to where we got to really put it to the test. And it just clicked, really meshed well as a team, and it was a lot of fun.
And that was the lineup that eventually won the gold medals in 2016. And I remember, I think Drew, it was you who said that if you think of Golden Knights performance that was really the top level that you've been on, I think you were referring to the 2016 lineup even.
Yeah, and that 16 lineup, that carried over from 2015. So all the time that team had together leading into the Clash of Champions, we had another year on top of that going to the Mondial in 2016. So really everything that we had accomplished in 2015 as far as the tunnel was concerned, we spent most of the year in 2016 trying to replicate that in the sky. And we found a lot of success with, like Jesse said, talking about keeping things small and looking at where last grips were, and guaranteeing as much of each build as we could so that there was less to check, so we had to spend less time checking and we could spend more time moving. And I think that, that mantra that we carried over from 15 with successful tunnel meets and successful World Air Games bled into the skydiving in 2016. We had a very similar performance.
And that competition draw in Dubai just happened to be on the way to that 2016 thing, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, for 8-way especially, we don't get a lot of events, Paraclete's the largest one, luckily it's in our backyard, but especially internationally, that was unique for us, to be able to be showcased, if you will, and then to have them uniquely placed with an outdoor meet right after it. So it was just the right timing for us in terms of the amount of training that we've had, and we just got to kind of blow some steam off and have fun.
So what do you think, for how much longer are you going to own this historic record average?
That's a good question. Matt?
Okay, so let's ask Matt. So Airspeed XB8 is standing at a 34 flat pretty much. I mean, something like 34-point average after round 6 now. And are you a little bit worried now that your 32.4 could become history, Jesse and Drew? Matt, what do you think? Is it going to happen?
There's a decent chance. I mean, there's the next round looks pretty quick. G15s, and then I think the slowest round that we have coming up is round 10, and I think that's 19s and 13s in it, I believe. I think that's going to be a little bit on the slower side, but if we continue to carry on the momentum that we have going for us so far, I think there's a pretty decent chance of it, but nothing's guaranteed for sure.
Drew and Jesse, we just, Matt and I, we were just watching you finishing up your dirt diving. You did your 8-way preparations for tomorrow before you did the 4-way. So you've gone through the sequences. If you had the 34.0 average in the books after round 6, as Matt has it now, would you think with the upcoming sequences, you would be able to carry it over the finish line higher than 32.4?
It's tough to say. Tough to say. There's really just that one fast round, and then one pretty slow round, like Matt said, with the 9s and the 13s, and then everything else is just kind of medium speed. I got a feeling that Airspeed XP 8 is just like the Golden Knights were back then. You put the records and the high averages out of your mind, and you concentrate one jump at a time. And you put your best performance you can together for 50 seconds, and then you let go of it, and you do that again. And if you do that right, if you stick to that process and you take it, one formation, one page, one jump at a time, those things tend to happen naturally.
Last question before it's late, and I appreciate that you took the time here, Matt. Is that your strategy for tomorrow? You've gone through the sequences and you've talked about tomorrow, I'm sure. Is that the strategy? Just
It is exactly just what Drew said. It's we focus on one point at a time, one jump at a time, and then we just kind of let the chips fall where they may. It's I would like to add additionally that seeing these guys perform the way that they have today, it's been really good. It's warmed my heart. I think it's we're on the cusp of seeing. This is just the beginning of what we're getting ready to see from this team, and it's exciting. I think there's going to be another decade of excellence that we're looking at from the Knights.
After your own decade of excellence is over.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, I want to say that quickly. Last round 6 was a 1-point difference between XP8 and was a slow sequence. It's easier to do that on a slower sequence, but still, it was a 22-21. So Golden Knights are coming along, obviously. Okay, well, we'll have the answer to the question tomorrow, around noon, I guess. Well, yeah, around noon. 4 more
Should
rounds.
be around, yeah.
And then, I don't know, we may talk again, and if not, then I'm excited to see that. And it was great to talk about this and that you took the time. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck, Matt.
Thanks, you too.